Okay, so I think I'm live now, a little bit delayed, but we're going to see how this thing works out, and hopefully it works out just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and invite Julie Morey in. I got to find. All right, first thing I got to do is delete that guy. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna do this. We're gonna copy that, and we're gonna go out here to messaging, and we're gonna go to Julie. Yes. Okay. Hopefully Julie will be here shortly. And yeah, we can roll. I have no idea if this is flying or not, because getting all kinds of craziness from the old LinkedIn. Oh, here's Julie. There she is. Hey.
Oh, hi.
So we're doing our V bourbon or Ray whatever, because it's that time of day.
It's our wet. Wait, we're doing our wet.
This will be our virtual bourbon.
Our virtual bourbon. Okay.
Yes, because it's too late for coffee, and
well, I'm drinking wine. Is that
how about virtual wine then? Yes.
I mean, whatever.
whatever works.
Yeah,
virtual,
so
whatever,
nice to,
whatever suits you.
Whatever you want to call it.
Indeed.
So, is it just you and me, or is Steven here too?
No, he couldn't join us tonight. But what we needed to do was just to hang out for a minute, because I wasn't sure if this was going to work, and I'm kind of seeing some funkiness on the old LinkedIn Live screen over here, because it doesn't seem to be. I don't know if it's doing its thing or not. I have no way to tell. Like, I'm not getting any feedback from anybody.
Okay, like, are we live?
We're on. We are live.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm wearing my best Chang shirt from Thailand. I really dressed up for this one.
Well, we can always delete it too if we don't like it.
I don't mind.
Because there's nobody here. It's just us.
It's just us hanging out while I'm drinking. So,
Well,
it's 5:00 somewhere. Well, actually, it's almost 7 here. You're in my time zone, right?
I am. So where are you based?
Sacramento, California.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so the capital. Yeah.
You are right there.
I used to live in San Diego, but moved here because my parents are here and it's closer. Do you want to say hi?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome.
Sneezies? Okay. Are you going to make a light break? Okay. Have fun. Love you.
Perfect.
She likes to meet everybody.
Well, that's great.
It's like her jam. Like the other night I started watching something on Zoom and she thought it was live and she was like, hey, and I'm like, oh no, they're not really there. But that's she's great. So used to it. Cause I mean, pretty much every morning I have a coffee chat before work. So she always like checks in just to say hi.
That's great. I love it. How old is she? She must be what, 4 or 5 maybe?
4.5. Yeah.
4.5.
4.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too smart for her own good.
The kids, they're like that. Mine aren't interested in what I do, really. Oh. They mostly embarrassed by it. So.
Okay then. Well, did you tell them that you were the Hotness Unleasher? Because that might have had.
I did, and they just do this. They can't.
How old are they?
The youngest is 14. The oldest is 22.
Oh yeah, well they're at that age, so yeah.
They are at that age, yeah. So it's.
I'm hopeful if she grows up with this that it will seem more normal. Grows. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
They're just Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you get lucky because. I hope, right? I really do, because that'd be great. And you just don't know. Like the kids, they're just gonna be who they are.
I know it's hard because she's so loving, so cuddly. I'm like terrified that she's gonna turn into a teenager and change, because we have this amazing relationship, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
But I don't know. I think when you raise them right, there is a there is a difference. Like she still might be embarrassed by what I do, but I'm hoping that bond will still be there.
Oh yeah. No, you'll definitely have that. It's just my experience, and you'll have your own, and it'll be what it is. But it's that the intensity of it never diminishes. And in fact, what's hard to communicate is how much higher the stakes become. Because by the time they're teenagers, they're dealing with things that are, sometimes life and death.
Yeah, right? I know.
And there's permanent ramifications for some of the decisions that they make. And they're free to make them because they're autonomous people, right? They're going to do stuff that is like, that just what it is. And so that is, it's real and it's coming. And I mean, I love them. They're the best. But it's just, it's intense. It just never dissipates. It just stays intense all the time.
I know. And there's always this fear that I do my best to banish, but she's my only one. She is my whole world, especially because I had her so late and I'm, it's just her and me. So there's always in the back of my mind that fear that something would happen to her, and of course there's all the stories and things and, I don't want to manifest anything like that. So I don't focus on it, but it's there, because I can't imagine my life without her. I can't,
nor she can without you. Right. So
yeah. So, but on the other hand, it's amazing that we have this bond and that I have like every single day I am in awe of her. Every single day she does something that amazes me and brings me joy and wonder, So
No, I totally
it's
get
incredible.
It.
Yeah.
Totally
Raising kids. Yeah. It's it is like you put your heart outside your body and you're like, all right, let's do this. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Have another glass of wine.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So tell me about Sacramento, because I know that Wendy Wiseman is there. And
yes. Oh, her and I are meeting on Monday.
Because IRL rules. I got to tell you right now.
In person. I've never met anybody from LinkedIn in person. So I am super excited to meet her in person. Yeah. So Sacramento's hot. It is so hot right now. Coming from San Diego, and I mean, I've been here a couple of years, but last summer we were in Costa Rica. So this is like the first whole summer that we've spent here. And I'm like and I think it's hotter this summer. So it's tough. You just can't really be outside a lot. You come up with alternatives. So
you go back to your COVID habits.
Oh no, you know what? I did not do a good job of like hiding during COVID. I would like break into playgrounds with Amelin and like we still went on trips and we're just careful and like conscious. Plus we were in Thailand for the first half of it. So we just.
What were you doing over there?
We got stuck there. We were traveling and COVID hit and then we just couldn't get home. So I was like, well, that's darn.
So how did you work that out? Like, how did you deal with that?
So it was really scary in the beginning because I was traveling with my sister and her family, and then they jumped to Taiwan because she was planning to not return to the US ever, which she still hasn't. She just moved to Portugal. And so we were supposed to leave Malaysia and jump to Thailand, and our flights kept getting canceled and we were at the airport and everything was shut. And that was fairly scary. But once we did find a flight, we got out of the country. And then once we were in Thailand, then we had to make the decision about whether to stay there or whether to try and make it back to the US. But things just kept getting more and more like crazy and it didn't seem safe to try and make it back to the US. So there was like 1 week where it was pretty frightening because we were just the US, like we tried contacting the embassy and they were like, come home now or we disown you. That's really scary. Like maybe you could just be like, hey, we understand if you try, but if you can't make it back, we'll help you. No, they were like, come home now or we want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But I traveled enough. I traveled enough though, and I've been in Thailand. That was my 4th trip. So I was like, we know we can do this. So once I decided to stay, and then we found a place, like a lot of the rental places converted to a month because that was what they were doing. What's up, kid? Yeah. You want paper? Watch out for the wine.
I'm not gonna paint.
You're not gonna paint?
I'm just gonna try gluing marbles on the paper.
I don't know if that's gonna work, but you try it and see what happens, okay? All right, have fun. So yeah, they were converting like rentals to month. So we found this place and there's all these other people that were stuck there too. Yeah. So we ended up with our people from Spain and England and Australia. And there was this British lady who became my best friend and another German lady who had a kid Amelin's age. And this Brazilian girl who was stuck there who moved in with us because she didn't have enough money and she just helped out with Amelin. And we just made a family. And you know, we celebrated Easter. Somebody found a ham. I have no idea how you find ham in Thailand during a pandemic, but somebody did. Nice. Yeah. So we were there for 2 months and it was awesome. And we were able to come home in June. So we missed kind of the worst of it. Yeah. Well, and one of those days I will tell the story on LinkedIn, but I haven't got there yet.
Well, that's a good story. It is. It's totally cool. Yeah. I mean, ours, those initial few months were for us, like, because I was already work from home, right? So what it really meant was that all my kids were home. Plus, my son's girlfriend was living in the basement at the time. And so we were just like, well, all of our previous evangelical pretense, which was already kind of moving, just and we just like, forget it. We're done. We're done. We were already pretty much done. Now we're really done. Forget it. We're moving on from that. Move in, dude. You get, because that's it. And I got to tell you, so that we were a pod of, so it was them two, and then there was a roommate, and then it was our 4 kids. So I think we were like 7 or 8 at times, and living in this big old house that we're in, and I loved it. I absolutely.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound so bad.
It wasn't bad. It was great, and we were just here together.
Because I mean, when do you get that opportunity to really spend time with your kids like that? And
at that age, you don't. And it was divine. So, you know, I mean, it was weird and hard and disruptive and all that, and I know a lot of people really, really suffered, and a lot of people died and got really sick, and that wasn't my experience. And you know, I'm not sensitive to what really happened, but you know, it wasn't all just terrible. There were some.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Because COVID wasn't this horrible thing for me either. You know, like I got to stay in Thailand, and there's a lot of positives. But I don't, just like you said, I like how you phrased that. That was, you know, like I don't discount anyone else's suffering, but that wasn't my experience either.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And then, you know, I managed to get COVID this year, like in May. And it sucked. It wasn't fun. Did you ever get it?
I had it twice.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it you know, ironically, I didn't get it from, like, I did some things, like we went and traveled in December. Emily and I traveled in December of 2020, which a lot of people were like, why would you do that? But and we didn't get it then. And it was because everybody was being so careful, and we were careful. We went up to Arizona and did the Polar Express. But I'm a school social worker. So, and my daughter's in preschool, you know, so honestly, like no matter how careful we are. So I had it first, I had it in November, and it wasn't so bad. And then I just had it again. Like I'm only 2 weeks out, and I was a lot more tired. Like this one hit me harder. But I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, I've done all the things, you know?
Me too.
It just
got to kind of get on with it, right?
Yeah, I'm finally starting. This is like actually the first time I've had anything to drink in about 2 weeks, because I've just been so tired. Like I'm not going to add anything else to the mix. Like we're just going to work on getting better. And then tonight I was like, I finally feel like myself again, and I'm not working tomorrow, so we'll have a glass.
Yes, sounds perfect. That sounds perfect. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. So hey, listen. So from a technical standpoint, I have a feeling that our live thing is just crunched. Because I have not seen a single human come on. I don't know if let me refresh this page, see what happens. From a technical standpoint, I am satisfied that I met all of the initial requirements. Oh wait, so we got Daniel. All right, Daniel says that so do you know Daniel Knight, by the way?
Of course.
Gotcha.
Love
I don't know.
him.
I don't know who knows who. Like, so many people didn't know Kelvin Stone. I just blew my mind. Like, I thought he was totally integrated and all that, but apparently he had his own kind of deal going, and that made me sad. So so you missed out on that guy. I tell you what, he was awesome.
Yeah.
And that bums me out. So Daniel chimed in. He said he can see us and hear us, but I don't know if that means diddly, because I can't, like, the feedback here is toast. So let's do this. Let me hang up. We'll end the stream. I'll go back and I'll see if it like posts and seems like anybody else was here, because it doesn't seem like it's giving us the feedback that I would expect, because I want it to be dialed in tight for 8 a.m. Pacific, right?
I know. Well, Daniel does these all the time, so
I know, but he's
be able to give some advice.
Well, he uses StreamYard or Restream or something.
Okay.
And he was the one who told me, he said, dude, you got to test it. You got to make sure you know what you're doing. And so I went out and I have Zoom. That's why we're using Zoom, and you need a pro account for it. And I have that. And I didn't want to fool around with trying to figure out another platform. And so there's always something. And at least I know how this one sort of works. And that's why we're using Zoom.
Okay.
And I don't think that Zoom has crashed. I think it's LinkedIn that's kind of busted. So, I mean, I can show you. Let me do this. I'll share the screen here. Okay. And you can see here all this.
There's Daniel.
You can see Daniel's comment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can see I'm just crunched, right? There's nothing happening here.
Oh.
So I don't know what that means.
But he said he can see us and hear us, so I feel like he would have said you weren't moving if he saw.
I know he would have said something, but maybe we're toast. And I'm not. And I've got another PC that lives parallel to this one, and I'm not seeing anything over there. And sometimes it'll give like its own notifications, right? Because it's just on a totally different IP. But any case, let me hang this up and see, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah, if you need more help testing anything, like I said, I'm around tomorrow. I'm not working, so yeah, if you need more help putting it together, just let me know.
Okay, will do.